I had asked if I could sit at the head table. They said there was not going to be a head table. I had asked if I could present something from the podium. They said they were going to leave the podium for the important presenters. I even asked to present something, and Tammy said, "You will if I decide to at the very last minute." So Tammy, thank you very much for letting me present this, because it's kind of a filler. We have a guest speaker who's running late tonight. Now, by the way, he promised not to speak for an hour and a half, so I think you're going to enjoy him if he ever gets here. But if he doesn't, we're going to go on with the awards, and in this case, a Lifetime Achievement Award to a person with whom you are, so many of you are familiar and have been for the working Magnolia for so many years. Sometimes they start telling about these Lifetime Achievement recipients, and they don't call their name out until they've gone all the way through a lot of the litany of their achievements, but I'm going to call it out right now. It's Warren C. W.C. Pete Schmidt. and the other was a man from Magnolia that doesn't talk. Now, Schmidt has double talk government, president, organization. He's been on the podium. He's been on TV. He's double talked some of the best and not some of the best all over the state. Unless you keep double talk and understood him with what he said, then you're not really familiar with how important this was to some people. One time on television, he explained the art of fly fishing in double talk. For the entire program, he didn't even know how to fly fish. He also described to a group of new recruits in double talk how to take down an M1 rifle, take it apart. He didn't know how to take down an M1 rifle, but he taught these recruits how to do it in that manner. Well, he was known for that, and every time he had the opportunity for one of his friends to put him next to someone important, particularly, to double talk them, he took it and did it really big. And to be honest with you, he was well known all over the state for that. Now, he was Montgomery County Chairman of the March Times twice. He was the committee chairman for the first two Blossom festivals to help work out the traffic pattern that we still use in order to keep traffic flow for the Blossom Festival. Here's one year. This month's August, marked the first time Pete Schmidt had not been in the Follies in Magnolia, Arkansas since 1949. Think about that, folks. That's a long time. But I do guess if I didn't speak of the work he's done in this church, the First United Methodist Church in Magnolia, taught Sunday school for many years. He was a member of the church board, church administration, and he was on there for so many years that in 2009 was designated a lifetime honorary member of the board of this church. Now, he was stationed in a secret signal corps installation during World War II. Remember, that's World War II we're talking about. And he there decoded Japanese messages. That may explain a little of his strangeness. and these are important achievements. I think I've got to turn now to the Pete Schmidt that I've known, that many of us have known. As I said, double talk to play into recognition everywhere. He never failed to participate in anything that was good for Magnolia. He did have another side to it, though, and I'm going to tell a couple of incidents that he probably would rather not have mentioned. But he worked for another WC. You may remember, there were 3 WCs that I can remember. One was WC Schmidt, was in the car coming back from one of our nearby communities with Winston Wilson in the car, and they got to their home where Winston was talking about. He told me to be quiet. And they opened back of the car, and as it did, a sack rolled out. It's hard to make a sack roll. You got to put water in it to make it roll. But when it did, it burst all over the driveway just at the moment that the other WC walked by.
just simply traced to the Schmidt house. They found out and sent it. Pete loved to plant flowers, loved to plant dogwoods, and his home backs up to Green Street. And he loved to plant, and he loved the sun. So many years, he would plant his flowers in the backyard in rainy season. It was a mosquito. And it was flesh colored. Well, that was the problem. The problem was that Dick Lawton went by there every day, going to his home. Dick Lawton's a former resident of Magnolia. And Mary Kay White lived right behind him on the other side of the street with no bed. Well, anyway, traffic was so slow out of that street that it became a traffic hazard, and Pete bought a red bathing suit and later put a fence up. Now, I do remember that one of the biggest impacts in Magnolia history with the farmers. I remember he was there in 1949. That Pittman's Florence, Pittman's Nursery, had an ad every year. A perennial thing that happened every year is they had picked up and had found a Jimmy Ray act of the farm, where Jimmy Ray would go through an area looking for Mrs. Calabash. How many of you can remember Pete Schmidt going down the aisle at Follies calling for looking for Miss Calabash, Miss Calabash? Okay, hold it. There's a lot of it. Looking for Miss Calabash.
community.